Welcome to the Web of Tomorrow. We're your hosts, Riley Karaskio.
And I'm Adam Harris.
And today we're going to talk about our favorite apps, both web and mobile. Or I guess some apps that we think are the most influential apps of all time currently. Until there's... Of course, we talk at the same time.
We're going to say, yeah.
Okay, so this is how we'll do it. We'll each. So we have three that we both picked out each.
So let's go back and forth.
Yeah, let's go back and forth. Exactly. So you go ahead, start. Even though my three are better, I think.
So I think one of the most influential games ever is Angry Birds, as far as mobile apps goes,
Okay.
Mobile games.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder when that came out. It just seems like it was the most popular mobile game ever. Like everyone played Angry Birds.
They even had a movie come out about it.
I think one of the things they did that was really interesting is they kept people playing it for a long period of time. It was a game that you could pick up and play really quick and then put down. It didn't take a long commitment to pull it out, but they kept people coming back over and over and over again.
Yeah. I don't think they're the ones that started the whole theme idea, like coming out with different themes. That might have been Temple Run. Do you remember Temple Run? Did you ever play that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was super into Temple Run. I loved that game. But the themes that they did come out with were super fun.
Like Star Wars.
Oh, Star Wars was really fun. I actually played a lot of that. I beat it.
Okay, so what's one from you? That's not a very good way to ask that.
All right. One app that I think has been incredibly influential and amazingly successful and also just awesome is Google Maps. I think one of the really great examples of this is when Google Maps kind of had its like falling out with Apple. Remember that? And Apple's like, oh, we're going to make our own maps. And
Yeah.
came out with it, and it was like one of the biggest debacles like all time. Like the app was just horrible, just terrible. And Google Maps, even to this day, is still like leagues ahead of Maps, like Apple Maps, and any other like map tool like it. I mean, I use Google Maps as a GPS now. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it used to be that, it was a good map tool. You could kind of use it like a GPS, but mostly, you could find directions. And now it's a really great social tool as well. You can look up places. They have the reviews on there. You can leave your own reviews from there. And you can just, like, I never get lost anymore.
Yeah. So do you remember how innovative their print functionality used to be before you had a smartphone and you actually had to print out your Google Maps? It was like super cool. You could say that you wanted to print it, and then it would kind of show you the starting area as a big map, and at the end it would show you your ending area. And then for each step you could choose whether or not you wanted a little map next to that step. And then you can move that map around to adjust, like zoom in, zoom out on that step, and just customize it to exactly how much detail you needed.
That's super cool. I just remember back in the day using MapQuest, and I hated MapQuest. It was directions. I just was really directionally challenged as a teenager. So Google Maps was basically my directional savior in a lot of ways, and so I worship it for its power.
Yeah, and then think about how innovative Street View and Satellite View was.
Yeah, that's true. Street View is super cool. I love going around the world, and looking at people's houses. Sometimes I'll go to Norway and I'll just look at people's houses in some random little town. So go ahead and tell me about your next one.
Next one is Instagram. I just think the idea of Instagram is super fascinating because it's one of those things that's not at all, it's not a new idea really, and it's not a hard problem. Like Google Maps is a really hard problem to solve.
Right.
But Instagram is just sharing photos. And that's something people have been trying to do for a really long time. And they went a really interesting route to it. Like they added restrictions to it, basically. It was small square photos, and there were no albums. It was just missing a lot of features, but that's part of its charm.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because like Facebook, before Instagram came out, Facebook was trying to be that, like this really great image sharing place. But then Instagram came over, and it felt like, to me, like almost overnight, it was a huge sensation and became a very important social part of society, and part of the social movement.
Yeah, I remember when Instagram came out, I thought there couldn't be any more social networks, really, right? There was MySpace, there was Facebook, there was Twitter. MySpace died out. I thought if there's going to be a new social network, it would be something that replaces Facebook, not something that adds on to it. And so that's just a super interesting idea that you have this really niche social network that's just photos.
Okay, so the next one is mine, and I think almost everyone will agree with me on this one. And I'm going to go away from mobile apps and go into web apps. Netflix. What they're not typically known for is their amazing machine learning tools that they have, and the contribution that they've provided to machine learning. So both of them use machine learning to kind of guess what you are, or predictive analytics or whatever, to learn your interests and provide you with those interests. Facebook has also kind of done that as well with their ads and things like that. But Netflix does it for shows. And Netflix is not that hard to argue, right? How influential and game-changing it has been. It's been like one of the most disruptive companies of all time.
Anytime you talk about a movie with someone, you just assume that they have Netflix. And the question you always hear all the time is it on Netflix?
Yeah, exactly. And I was reading an article today that was like how Netflix is the frenemy of Hollywood. Like it definitely ups how much people view movies and things like that. Yeah. But now they're like producing their own content, and it's really good.
Yeah, what I think is really interesting is the possibility of what you can do with TV shows that are online only, because you don't have to worry about what time slot they fit in on TV and what channels they're competing with at that time, and you don't have to hit a certain target audience. You could have a TV show with a more niche audience, and it doesn't matter because enough people will be able to watch it online, and it's not taking up that time slot in place of something else.
Yeah, exactly. I remember where Netflix really just entered into my life in a big way, because I don't know how fortunate it is that Netflix is a big part of my life, because it means I'm wasting a lot of time watching shows. But I remember the first time that happened was with Breaking Bad. And Breaking Bad is notorious for having the most amazing cliffhangers of like any show. Like at the end of every season even, you're left like, oh crap, like what is gonna happen next? And you're just wanting to come back for more. Well, it was great because me, being the impatient person that I am, didn't want to wait. And Netflix lets me not wait. I just blast through it and watch all of it and get instant gratification.
Yeah, what about that autoplay feature at the end of an episode, right? You finish an episode, you're like, whoa, that was amazing, I wonder what happens next, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, if you don't stop it, the next one's already playing. You're like, well, gotta watch it now.
So what's your next one? We got our last two here now.
Dropbox. So Dropbox is one that I'm actually really excited about, and I guess it's not that exciting anymore. It was really exciting when it came out, but I mean, still, it's one of the first apps I get on my phone as soon as I get it, and I think it really revolutionized a lot of things. A lot of other apps piggyback on top of Dropbox. Like, I can't think of any examples. A lot of apps they need some sort of syncing functionality, and so they just say, sign in with Dropbox, and we'll just store your stuff in Dropbox. When it first came out, they had a really hard time explaining it, what it was, because people just didn't understand. People were like emailing themselves files, and or if you were collaborating with someone else, you would email it back and forth, different revisions.
I do that because I don't want to pay Dropbox for bigger storage.
Oh yeah, I've done so many promotions over the years that I have like over 10 gigs.
Really? Man, I feel like I never get promotions. In the same vein, I guess, like, Google Drive has been pretty stinking amazing. GitHub, what's the other ones? I was thinking about a bunch as we were talking to, like, man,
Microsoft has one.
yeah, I just can't, like, it's like I have one last one now, which is Amazon, which Amazon is a no-brainer.
There's
Like,
another one that's called SugarSync.
Anyways, let's end this thing, okay? This was supposed to be really short. I should have known that this, like, especially when I came to you and I was like, let's each pick one, and you're like, I can't do that, and then I was like, okay, two, and then we're like, okay, three each. But the last one I'm going to say is Amazon, and I'm going to go back to I'll say the obvious reason, which is shopping. It's absolutely disrupted the shopping space, and I could see a day when we don't go to retail stores anymore. Especially, I was actually talking about this with some friends about, like, especially if 3D printing continues to become as big as it is. It'd be pretty amazing to actually see Home Depot struggling very badly, you know, because of 3D printing and Amazon being combined together or something. But then the other reason is they've got some incredible cloud services and machine learning services that you can use.
Yeah, they're always doing cool new things.
And it's funny because I feel like Amazon doesn't get brought up as much as Google does, but Amazon does a lot of really cool new things, like Google does.
Yeah, they're at the heart. They've always been a technology company because they started off with just selling books online, but books was just their first venture, and they've just expanded from there. Yeah, I mean, Amazon services powers Netflix
and a lot of other people. Their cloud storage services, isn't it Amazon that has a cloud service?
Yeah, it's called AWS.
Yeah, AWS. AWS is like, they actually just mentioned it in Silicon Valley.
Oh, cool.
Because in Silicon Valley, the company that they have moved from their servers. So basically what I'm trying to say is Amazon is the shiz. Without a doubt, I could have added Google anything because Google is just incredible. I'm a huge fanboy. One day I'm going to get a huge tattoo of Google on my back, and I'm sure I'll never regret it. Adam, that's a bad idea. Adam's a little too reasonable for my musings.
Yeah, I can never get a tattoo of anything.
Well, we would love to hear your suggestions for what you think are your best apps, or like the most influential apps of all time. Leave a comment on our new comments page, and you can leave comments now, you know, so do it.
And we're on YouTube now too, if you like that.
And there's comments there. And you know what? YouTube has a reputation for being toxic, so if you want to come and be really toxic in the comments, we welcome that as well. 'Cause at least someone's watching and saying something to us. Rate, subscribe. We're on Twitter. You can at us anytime at Web of Tomorrow FM. We obviously also have our own website, weboftomorrowpodcast.com. And Adam, anything else you'd like to add to the end of this?
Nope.